Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and welcome to Game 4 in a special Best of 7 series show match between drewbie, he is the pink Terran up here in the top left of Jungle Basin, and Evil Genius's iNcontroL, he's the red Protoss down here on the bottom right. And like I said, Game 4, currently the score is 2-1 in drewbie's favor, and you can see both players chatting it up right now, talking about that game that we just saw on Lost Temple. iNcontroL complimenting drewbie just joking around that Marauder SCV and double orbital command, pretty much the only reason he was able to stay in that game and eventually come back to win. So kind of a tough break for iNcontroL, not being able to actually destroy drewbie despite being right in his base, killing off barracks, killing off add-ons like crazy. drewbie just clawed his way back. It was pretty miraculous, actually, that drewbie was able to take that game. But now, Game 4, totally new map, totally new positions, not going to have close flying positions at all here on Jungle Basin like we saw in Metalopolis and Lost Temple, but both players have been pretty much sticking to their guns for this matchup. drewbie's been showing us 2 barracks right away every game, usually with an expand involved as well, and iNcontroL been sticking to his 3 gates every game as well, and he actually only expanded a couple of times himself. So aside from that very short game on Metalopolis, both players have pretty much done the same thing every time. Game 4, of course, could be a different story. Both players have lots of options for their race that they have yet to explore. drewbie, for example, has been sticking to Bio and Reapers primarily, which is kind of strange. Hasn't delved into factory units really at all. Not a single Banshee has been built or anything. And iNcontroL really has not done much with Immortals or Colossi or Phoenixes or anything, really sticking with Gateway units and Void Rays really up to this point. No Templar either, I should mention. Dark Templar did make a little appearance, but no High Templar. So things could be different here in Game 4. No gas going up for drewbie at all, so iNcontroL, if he did a gas steal this time like he did on the last few games, I'd be a little bit puzzled, since obviously it's not going to slow drewbie down too much if he's planning to do a mineral-only opener anyway. Orbital command is coming at a pretty standard time here for drewbie, while iNcontroL getting cybernetics core at a very standard time. So both players just playing incredibly solid up to this point. No shenaniganery just yet. No hidden pylons anywhere for iNcontroL. No proxy racks or anything for drewbie. He hasn't even built a refinery yet, so really his options are limited anyway. He's sending an SCV over to this natural already, and his mineral count is hovering around 400. I'll be very surprised if he expands it this early into the game. A 20 CC here after building only a single barracks with 1 Marine coming out at a time. iNcontroL at home already has Warp Gate Tech researching. He's got another pylon down here. drewbie was snooping around with his SCV. He's going to see this probe over here, perhaps thinking that iNcontroL might be wanting to expand here soon. But looks like iNcontroL doesn't really have the money for that just yet, so I'm not sure what's going to happen after this SCV does finally get chased out of here by that Zealot and probe. So, ooh, what was that? Gateways number 2 and 3 coming down for iNcontroL right now. As soon as that SCV is out of his way, he just drops those additional gateways. Going to have a lot of production capabilities here soon. drewbie, on the other hand, still no refinery, using all his minerals on barracks and marines. No add-ons of any sort. No gas collected at all. This command center is going to be up and running soon. iNcontroL with 3 gateways. Warp Gate Tech is about 75% done by that little production tab graphic there. First Stalker coming in. Actually, First Stalker already moving across the map. Attack move already queued up there to both Xel'Naga towers and then over to drewbie's base. We'll see if he actually continues on to the base or not, if he's just looking for SCVs right now to kill, of which there are none, but iNcontroL can continue to move on. iNcontroL, wow, he actually did drop a pylon back here near drewbie's expansion. Did he see this already? No, he didn't, but it's still a clever spot anyway. It looks like he'll easily be able to warp in across the gap there as long as he has a little bit of vision, and he does have vision back there, so surprised those stalkers didn't just warp in over there. Instead, he's going to continue warping in on the left side for the time being. He's got those 3 warp gates finished, just building pylons and warping stuff in now at this point. drewbie, on the other hand, does have 4 barracks completed. Still no refinery this far into the game, 6.5 minutes in, no refinery at all. He's adding a bunker here in front of his natural. He does not know about this pylon just yet. I did just see a couple of zealots, I think, warping in. Yes, I did. iNcontroL going to do a little bit of a two-prong attack here. Zealots moving in now towards that mineral line here at the natural. Only a single marine here to defend against it, so are any SCVs going to be killed? I'm not sure, but iNcontroL also moving up here at the front, going to try and break down this bunker extremely quickly while drewbie's marines are away at the natural. All the fleshy marines inside going to be taken down quite quickly. No force fields this time around for iNcontroL. We've seen a lot of times where he dropped force fields all around these bunkers to prevent them from getting repaired. This one gets repaired up very, very quickly, though. iNcontroL does have a lot of stalkers here. Only 7 remain, actually 6, now 5 remain. He is surrounded by all these SCVs. Lots of marines for drewbie just shooting away here. Going to be able to clean this up, no problem. And this last zealot here, unfortunately for iNcontroL, is just going to be shooed away. Ooh, not killed though. He actually managed to survive. So iNcontroL not doing near as much damage as he wanted to do there. He actually warped in another zealot here to try and kill off a mule. He's chasing it around. Might not be able to kill it off, but at least he kept it from mining the entire time that it was able to. So iNcontroL probably not very happy with that little attack, even though he did kill a lot of units. He is in the worker count advantage, though, 27 to 21, and he does not have a nexus up yet. drewbie is going to finish off this pylon here right up at the ramp of his base there. iNcontroL likely wanted to finish off these bunkers and then start warping in up on the high ground right away. Unfortunately, didn't work out for him. drewbie pretty well protected by his mass marines. So didn't I make a joke last game or the game before about how Terrans needed gas to do things? drewbie just now getting his first 2 refineries up. 9 minutes into this game, he's got nothing but marines, barracks, and command centers right now. A couple of pylons still remain here for iNcontroL, but it looks like drewbie is probably going to be able to root them all out. Haha, root, because he's on Root Gaming. Anyway, he should be able to find all of them and kill them off. Now a nexus is actually being created here for iNcontroL and a robotics facility somewhere. There it is. So might be seeing some Immortals or eventually Colossi here in this game 4. But drewbie is on the move with a lot of marines, so I'm not sure how much damage he's going to be able to do over here. Let's look at the unit tab very quickly. 2 sentries, 2 stalkers, and a zealot against this number of marines. I would actually favor the marines if not for that excellent force field placement there by iNcontroL, severing the forces there a little bit, getting a couple of free kills, and of course he's got those 3 warp gates still, so he can continue to warp in and cut off these forces. Look at that, 4 more marines just getting chopped right there away from its main force, and iNcontroL still has all his units intact, so drewbie being forced to back off a little bit, doesn't want to mess with that really. He did actually take out this pylon that was pretty much connected to his natural there. There remains 1 more, and drewbie is going to walk right past it here. I'm not sure why, but this remaining force of marines should be able to clean that up. And now, yes, he is shooting away at it now, should be going down. iNcontroL not going to be supply blocked, but still another 100 minerals and some time that he's going to have to invest once again. With the second nexus up, it looks like the harvester count is actually even right now, so that's good for iNcontroL. He has usually been behind in this game, except for that little stint on Lost Temple where he was actually in drewbie's base killing everything. Robotics Bay coming up for iNcontroL now, so it looks like Colossi are going to be on order here. Lots and lots of marines, of course. Colossi do quite well against them. Refineries are just churning away now, though, all 4 of them for drewbie. He's got a factory finished right now. Is he going to get nitro packs again? I haven't seen a Reaper yet this game, but he certainly could start now if he wanted to. Oh, there's a Ghost Academy already up, getting Mobius Reactor for some extra energy. No nuke being built just yet, but of course I would love to see some nuke action if we can see it. I would just be extremely grateful to drewbie, but we'll see what ends up happening. 2 starports going up right now. He's already on 4 barracks and a single factory, so his production capability is going to be off the wall here soon. He's got mass reactors, only a couple of tech labs up to actually get these research done. Stim packs and combat shields being the research of the day for now. Barracks number 5 coming up here. Man, drewbie's production is really going to be hard to keep up with, but at least harvester count is still even for iNcontroL. Back at his base, he is getting a first Colossus out now. He's chrono boosting his extended thermal lances. He's getting a second robotics facility now as well. Both players allowing the other some time to actually get the tech that they want, so we could actually be going into a pretty long macro game here. We'll have to see what actually ends up happening though. Forge is coming up for iNcontroL. We did see a double Forge on that first map, Crossfire, but only 1 this time around. We'll see if iNcontroL tacks on another one or not. Engineering Bay already up for drewbie, of course, getting +1 weapons research. This observer was scanned but not quite taken out, so iNcontroL dodged a bullet there, actually dodged a lot of bullets. If you counted the number of Marines that were there, they're actually about 100. So drewbie is starting to move now with some units. He's got this cloaked, not this cloaked ghost, sorry, just this ghost with a lot of energy that's going to be able to shoot EMP rounds onto iNcontrol's army. By the time he gets over there, this single Colossus is out. A second one is on the way, actually a third one on the way as well. Chrono boost being spent on these Colossi. drewbie starting to move across the middle of the map now. He does have Vikings coming out. Did he see that robotics facility? Did he scan and see that? Yes, he saw it actually a while ago, so gave him plenty of time to get some Vikings in the air. Turrets being built as well for detection and for anti-air. iNcontroL gonna have to get that observer out of there, risk losing it here to this missile turret, and it will take, it only takes one little shot from all these Vikings and the turret to actually take out that observer. So drewbie has superior map vision right now. He is actually going to see the army of iNcontroL moving out now with his scouting factory. Most likely going to lose this as there are no SCVs in the area, and drewbie's actual army is a bit displaced right now. +1 ground weapons being researched for iNcontroL and a Twilight Council being built, so soon he will have some more tech available to him, including High Templar and Dark Templar, if he chooses to go that route. Also additional upgrades will be available. drewbie spreading out his forces very nicely here. He's got a lot of Vikings in the air. He's got his ground forces spread out very nicely to avoid too much damage from these Colossi. Big EMP goes down on all those Stalkers. You can see they are shieldless. A Colossus actually got hit by that as well, and all these Vikings are going to clean them up extremely quickly. Lots of ground forces still alive here for drewbie, sitting at 1-0 upgrades. iNcontroL still doesn't have his 1-0 upgrades though, so he is going to be forced to back off. Guardian Shield, of course, keeping him alive just slightly longer, but drewbie is going to cruise right through these pylons here. iNcontroL losing pylons all over the place here in this game. Pulling up the production tab once again, we'll see that drewbie is just going to continue to crank out Vikings and Marines while getting another command center up here at this third. Back at iNcontrol's base, the Vikings sort of dart overhead to give drewbie some vision up there, but iNcontroL does have some sentries to be able to block those out. His Colossi are a little bit prone right now. He's going to need a lot more Stalkers here to be able to defend against those Vikings. drewbie now starting to elevator into the back of iNcontrol's base while still keeping a watchful eye with these Vikings. Marines darting in here trying to get some damage done. We'll see if they're actually able to accomplish anything. Probes, 3 or 4 probes go down there, Colossi move in, and they're actually going to finish off all these Marines here with a couple of laser swipes. Medevac is going to be able to escape just fine, but the destructible rocks here in the back were destroyed by these many Marauders. So iNcontroL feeling a little bit exposed right now, a little bit defensive. He's kind of tucked back into his base. We see Stalker Blink researching and more Colossi still being built, so he is actually going to be able to defend a little bit better against those Vikings with Blink Stalkers, but I can't imagine spending too much more on Colossi with this huge Viking count in the air. iNcontroL being a little bit sneaky back here. He's got a couple of pylons up, can actually warp in here. It doesn't really, it's kind of hard to see there. You kind of have to tilt your camera, but there is enough space there to actually warp something in. So we'll see if he actually manages to do that or wants to do that at all. I did not see a Templar Archive or a Dark Shrine go up. There it is, actually just starting now in his natural. So if he gets some DTs coming through this back door, it could be very effective. Single Zealot up here just to defend these pylons, just in case drewbie does happen to send a Marine over there. Look at this, we've got all kinds of movement here. Lots and lots of Vikings, 15 Vikings in the air, lots and lots of Marauders, stimmable with concussive shells, sitting at 1-0 upgrades. And some Marines sneaking in the back here. iNcontroL, I'm not sure if he actually saw that, but it looks like he knows something is up. There's a bunch of Marines just hanging out over here, and iNcontroL moving to the left to try and defend against this, but the Marines are sort of hidden right now, and the Vikings poke in, manage to destroy 2 Colossi very quickly. They're sitting at 0-0 upgrades, but with this huge number, just a couple of volleys take out an entire Colossus. So again, I don't see iNcontroL really spending too many resources to continue that with just this giant ball of Vikings. That's going to be very difficult to keep up with. But this Dark Shrine will be done soon. Charge is researching. Ground Weapons level 2 about to complete here. With Ground Weapons level 2, a Dark Templar can actually slice right through a Marine with 0 armor. 55 health. I believe Dark Templar do 55 damage with that +2 upgrade. We'll see in a moment, I'm sure. But drewbie actually being a little bit gutsy here, expanding here as his 4th base. Interesting stuff. If we look at the income tab right now, they are equal on Harvesters, but drewbie obviously has an advantage with those mules. And here we go. The first Dark Templar of the game have started moving out now. We'll watch these here just for a moment, and we'll put picture-in-picture on the other ones. These 2 Dark Templar just racking up SCVs SCV kills right now, 5 for each of them, and going to kill off the last couple of SCVs in the gas geyser. Scan coming down for drewbie, going to be able to pop off some concussive shells on these Dark Templar, probably kill off both of them, maybe. The scan actually ends before this next Dark Templar can die, though. 7 kills on him, 6 on him, 8 on him. drewbie is starting to move now with his giant ball of bio and all these Vikings overhead. iNcontrol's army is a little bit displaced here. He doesn't have any Colossi to deal with this, forced to just drop force fields at his ramp to keep all those units at bay, and drewbie dropping a ton of Vikings here in the main base of iNcontrol. He's elevatoring units into the base over those force fields. iNcontrol feeling very exposed right now. He's at 2-0 upgrades against 1-1 of drewbie, continuing to force field this ramp just to give himself a shot at severing these forces, handling them a few at a time rather than fighting the entire ball at once. So iNcontrol actually manages to stave off defeat there with some great force fields and a big ball of units here. 2 Dark Templar hanging out at the top of the ramp just in case drewbie comes back, and these Dark Templar are still just doing work back here. This orbital command starting to burn this Dark Templar right here. Yes, they do 55 damage with those +2 upgrades, but drewbie has a planetary fortress over here and another orbital command turning, not an orbital command, a command center turning into a planetary fortress with a single Dark Templar swiping at it. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to actually kill this off or not before it finishes. The turret is about to go up, but iNcontrol is moving up to help his little Dark Templar buddy, and an SCV is coming over to build a turret. iNcontrol obviously going to be able to handle that and continue swiping away at this planetary fortress. Just so much stuff going on right now. Dark Templar vision has been initiated. We're trying to keep tabs on all these different Dark Templar. I feel bad for drewbie. It's hard enough for me to see everything that's going on, let alone a guy actually playing the game, trying to defeat all these Dark Templar, ruining his game right now. 132 health, one more swipe, will finish off that planetary fortress. Oh my goodness, so huge boon there for iNcontrol. drewbie off of only 1 mining base right now. Let's look at the harvester count. 49 for iNcontrol, only 25 for drewbie. The number continues to dwindle. iNcontrol's all over the place with these Dark Templar right now, just hacking whatever he can. Another one moving up here on the side. He'll see these 4 Vikings, but of course he cannot attack them as they are airborne right now. drewbie backing up into his main, going to take out one of those Dark Templar. There's a Raven overhead, so drewbie stopping at least one of them here. Another Dark Templar over here did finish off the engineering bay and is now starting to do some work on this armory. drewbie moving over here with a big old ball of Marines and Marauders, should be able to take that out quite easily once this Raven gets over here. Some fighting is going on the far right side of the map. Now we join that. A couple of Stalkers trying to kill off these Vikings over here. Sorry, Fraps took a little bit of a slowdown there, but I'm not sure why, but it seems to be back to normal now. 4 Stalkers killing off a couple of Vikings there. Still keeping this harvester count up. 51 harvesters for iNcontrol, 26 for drewbie, but if we look at the army tab, drewbie is actually ahead 116 to 103, so he's got so many more fighting units on the field right now. We'll just take a quick glance. 33 Marauders, 1 Viking, 1 Ghost, 1 Raven, and 13 Marines against, what do we have? 2 Dark Templar, 2 Zealots, 2 Immortals, 2 Colossi, and 8 Stalkers. It's really just a sort of mix and match. Big difference between these 2 armies, and the Dark Templar will find himself a nice snack of 4 Marauders. drewbie trying to stim up and get away from that. Also, you know, there's just fighting all over the field now. It's broken down into sort of guerrilla warfare instead of just big army smashing into big army. But drewbie is here now at the front of iNcontrol's base. He's got his Ghost leading the charge here. He's got 152 energy, going to be good for 2 EMPs, and the Ghost moves in right after that Marauder drops 1 big EMP. Look at all these shields taken down now. No energy on this sentry to force field the ramp, but drewbie actually backs off, thinks better of it, and does not engage there. I like how he sent that Marauder up first to soak up some shots before sending in his Ghost, before getting off that EMP, so it was a nice sequence of events. He just didn't really have much of a payoff, as obviously iNcontrol's units are regenerating their shields now. What is going on in the main? Nothing, essentially. Just all these barracks still churning out units. 2 starports still making units as well. iNcontrol does have a Dark Templar parked here at the natural of drewbie. He's got another one running around over here, but a Raven is overhead, so it is going to be taken out. iNcontrol starting to distance mine here from this 3rd base, but does not have a Nexus up yet. drewbie, with all these units still on the ground, going to make that very difficult for iNcontrol to be able to expand there. And iNcontrol has taken a supply lead now. His harvester count is still 18 more than drewbie's, but look at the mineral and gas counts, and you'll see that drewbie is actually ahead on minerals while iNcontrol is ahead on gas. Interesting stuff. So pretty much all of drewbie's workers right here at this planetary fortress. Only 1 Actually 2 over here for drewbie, but he hasn't even rallied it to anything, so that's not going to matter. What actually moved in there, I'm not sure, but iNcontroL just stomped right through it with this very large force of Colossi and Stalkers. It looks like both players have given up on trying to do any upgrades. drewbie obviously lost his engineering bay, but iNcontroL moving now. Good concave from drewbie. He's stimming up, moving in. iNcontroL has the superior upgrades right now, and of course these Colossi do a boatload of damage. There's not enough Vikings in the air to really worry iNcontroL. These Stalkers would be able to kill them all off if he focus fired. So doing that little push there at the Planetary Fortress is probably going to keep drewbie in a little bit of a defensive stance now, while iNcontroL has time to throw up this Nexus. Let's look at the Harvester count just once again. I'm always curious about this. 50 for iNcontroL, 35 for drewbie. iNcontrol's been distance mining this entire time. That's why his mineral count looks a bit low, despite having that big advantage in workers. Another starport coming up for drewbie, and he's making solely Marauders and Medevacs right now to combat this giant force of Colossi, Stalkers, Immortals on the ground. 4 Immortals here for iNcontroL. No Ghosts on the field for drewbie anymore. I don't believe as that Ghost Academy was taken out. Actually, he's got 2 Ghosts. So that Ghost Academy was rebuilt somewhere, or he just got them without me noticing. I don't see a Ghost Academy anywhere. I see this armory. But either way, drewbie has 2 Ghosts on the field. Here it is, behind the mineral line at his Planetary Fortress. So drewbie sneaking one past me. He actually rebuilt his engineering bay as well and is getting weapons level 2 going right now. He's got a lot of energy on these Ghosts, so if they engage again, I feel bad for iNcontroL. He's going to lose a lot of shields if he doesn't see those Ghosts and target them extremely quickly. No High Templar or anything have been invested in this game. And here we go, big engagement once again. Vikings focusing down the Colossi as fast as they can. Colossi, of course, focusing down the ground units, and Stalkers really need to be taking shots at these Vikings. Here we go. iNcontroL actually looks like he is going to stay alive here through this little encounter with 4 Colossi and a good number of Stalkers. Another Ghost coming up here is going to be taken out. So iNcontroL probably doesn't want to press his luck too much, but he could actually sit back with his extended thermal lances. Another Colossus does go down there. drewbie getting a nice pick up there. Point defense drone stopping these Stalker shots a little bit, but these Vikings are able to continue shooting these Colossi, so the Planetary Fortress is not going to go down. Lots of SCVs repairing it right now, so iNcontroL sees that this is a futile attempt at killing it and backs off. He's getting more Dark Templar warped in right here at his 3rd base, and one runs off to the left, one runs off to the right, so probably just doing a little bit of a scouting mission. Doesn't want to get too close to this Planetary Fortress, obviously, as there's a missile turret there, and he won't be able to kill off any real amount of SCVs before that Planetary Fortress destroys the Dark Templar. But he is parking at these other expansions. Obviously, at this point in the game, it's going to be very vital to prevent your opponent from expanding, as both players are mined out, essentially. Actually, iNcontroL is mined out from his main and his natural. I'm surprised this game is actually still going on. This might be the longest Jungle Basin game I think I've ever cast, but it is pretty exciting still. Dark Templar still just roaming around. iNcontroL has a couple of Colossi up. Let's look at the unit count just real quick. We see High Templar are starting to come in now. We just saw that Templar Archive researching Psionic Storm, still being chrono boosted. So despite having these Nexuses not mining anything, he can still use that chrono boost to his advantage. Let's look at the actual income of each player, and we'll see that they're fairly even on minerals, and iNcontroL is still way ahead on gas. The actual supply counts for each player are still under 100 each, 31 minutes into this game, which is just astounding to me. But just constant action. drewbie poking in once again, scoring another big kill there, and iNcontroL just spreading out maybe too thin, I'm not sure, but he doesn't know that this base is actually back up. He is hacking down the destructible rocks here in the back, though, so he will know about it sooner than later. This Dark Templar probably just patrolling around. Now he's actually just going to park right there at that base. So both players, again, giving each other some breathing room. I see +3 weapons being upgraded now for drewbie. That'll put him even with iNcontroL here soon. iNcontroL already sitting at 3-1, of course. Both players will be at 3-1 once that finishes up. Marauders and Marines being churned out still. Reactors going up on these barracks. I cannot believe the number of barracks here still producing. There's 3 starports still as well. How many warp gates is iNcontroL up to? He's got 3 over here, 1 over here. Still only 4 warp gates and 2 robotics facilities. No stargates or anything. That Dark Shrine's still intact the entire game, so lots of Dark Templar action happening throughout the game. Ghosts moving in, gonna score a nice EMP there. They believe it hit both Dark Templar or High Templar. No, it only hit a couple there. I'm not even sure how many High Templar are in this mix. 5 High Templar, only 1 of them actually got hit. You can tell by the little shield graphics there. But a lot of other units did get hit, so iNcontroL forced to back off. He obviously did not want to engage with his shields down, but here we go. drewbie stimming up, moving in, trying to take out some pylons. iNcontroL cancels all of them and drops a Psystorm, but unfortunately for him, it's a swing and a miss. drewbie scanning to see what's up. Going to see all these forces here in the back. Only Zealots and High Templar out in the front. Couple of Ghosts moving in once again. They have tons of energy here. Feedback goes down on one of them, but an EMP does go down from the other. Psystorm once again, sort of a swing and a miss here for iNcontroL. Unfortunately, lots of Marauders and Marines still stimming up, trying to take out this Nexus, but now the Colossi are moving in, going to be focused down by these Vikings very quickly. Psystorm dropped on the Vikings. Zealots charging in. They do a ton of damage to this infantry, of course, and this Colossus still just barely alive with 4 kills, but drewbie kiting around these Zealots, killing off a couple of Stalkers with each volley. Looks like he's going to actually maintain his unit advantage there. drewbie now at 124 supply, iNcontroL only at 101. Income still in, fairly even state here. Gas is actually way in drewbie's favor now since he reclaimed his natural, so iNcontroL going to try and push in here at the Planetary Fortress for the final time, dropping storms left and right, not really killing too much. Marauders, of course, are extremely beefy, and with these medevacs overhead, they are going to all stay alive. iNcontroL suddenly looking very, very bad here. 66 supply against 109, so drewbie, this actually probably is going to be the killing blow. Without this Nexus, iNcontroL is mining off of 0 bases, and that is going to be pretty much it here. Probes falling left and right. iNcontroL has no real production going on, just a single Colossus, which of course is not going to stand up against these 3-1 Marauders. iNcontroL saying, I can't believe I messed that up. Both players actually had advantages at different points in that game, so iNcontroL shouldn't feel too bad about it. drewbie, of course, is a very good player, and we saw on Lost Temple that if you give him too much time to macro up, he will be able to stay in the game. So both players, just an incredible, incredible game there on Jungle Basin. I don't normally say that a lot. Jungle Basin isn't actually seen too much since it got removed from the actual Blizzard ladder pool, but now we are going to go to Metalopolis once again. I told these players they can pick any Blizzard maps, any GSL maps that they felt comfortable on. Repeats are allowed as long as they weren't back-to-back, so we are going to go check out our second game of this Best of 7 series on Metalopolis. iNcontroL did win that map earlier in the series, so that is right in his comfort zone. We'll see if he's able to take another game off of drewbie and keep this series going, or if drewbie, with his newly found 3-1 lead, can win on Metalopolis and take this series all the way. Let's go check out Game 5.